Hi guys, I'm here to show you how I make my molds to make my Prima resin shapes out of clay. It is a really affordable way to still use some of the great Prima resin products, or any resin products. There's some really great ones by Melissa Francis, but it's a great way to use the same shape without actually buying several packages of the shape. If you're anything like me, you find a particular shape that you like and then you want to use that shape in several of your products. Or projects, sorry. So this is a great way to do it. What you're going to need is some kind of molding putty. I use the Amazing Mold Putty, and it comes in a container just like this. It's about 20 bucks, and you can get it at Michael's using a coupon. And it comes with 2 containers. It comes with yellow and white, and I'm not sure which one is which. All I know is when you mix them together, you've got about a minute or 2 to make your mold before it sets in place. Now when you make your molds, they're going to look something like this, and they are very flexible, okay, which is great because it's easy to get out your actual piece when you're done. And you can buy molds. I bought this one. I believe I bought this one on Etsy, and I can't remember what the name of the seller is, but if you Google molds, or you search for molds on Etsy, or just Google it on Google, you'll find some different mold companies that sell these. So these are normally about $5 or $6 a piece for the small ones, so you can just make your own, and this will make a ton of molds. So I would definitely do this and get your own. That way you can make the ones that you want. So you're going to need the Amazing Mold Putty, like I said, something that you're going to make the mold of, and then you're going to need some clay. I like to use the Sculpey clay because it's a lot softer. The Primo clay, I know they're making a soft one now, but I still just like the Sculpey clay. And sometimes at Michael's they have them for $5, which is great. And even if they're not on sale, they're normally a pretty good price anyway. So what you're going to want to do is, before you get your Amazing Mold Putty ready, you want the item in front of you that you want to make a mold of. And I'm going to try this window. I don't know if it's going to work out because it has some thin pieces here, but I'm going to try it because I really like this window, and I haven't used it because I really like it. So if I can make a mold of it, then I can make some to use. And these little corners would be great for molds too, those little corners. So what you're going to do is get a small amount of one of the colors of your putty. This is the white one, and I'm going to get a little bit more than that. I would definitely use too much rather than too little. You definitely want a good amount of the putty. I've tried to make them before, kind of skimping on the putty. I'm trying to find it so I can show you. And this was one I made of one of the Tim Holtz frames, and I don't know if you can tell, but it's kind of a shallow mold. It's not very deep, and I can't even really use it. I don't know why I still have it. I should just throw it away. But I was trying to skimp on the molding putty, and then I couldn't even use it. So don't skimp on it. Use more than you think you'll need. And you know, like I said, it's 20 bucks, which, you know, is a lot of money, but if you use your coupon, it'll end up being $12 or $10 depending on how much the coupon is, whether it's a 40% or 50%, but it does make quite a few molds. And as long as you don't mix them together, it lasts for a long time. So you're going to want to make sure they're about even. Mine are not. My yellow is a little bit bigger than my white, so let me, I'll actually add a little bit of white here. And I'm getting to the end of my containers here, so it's kind of hard to get. I need like a spoon or something. But you definitely want them even. If you have too much yellow, then it gets too sticky and it won't dry. And if you have too much white, it dries really fast. Okay, so you're just going to want to kind of mesh these together. And like I said, mesh them together when you have the thing that you're going to mold handy, because this has dried on me before. And I'm just kind of kneading it together. And you'll know it's ready when you can't see any of the marbleizing in there between the colors, when it's just one pale yellow. Alright, so now I've got it ready. I'm going to roll it into a ball, and the instructions say to kind of pull the putty over the mold rather than press it in, but I kind of do a little bit of both. So I'm just going to put my mold there, and I'm going to kind of press it down while I'm curving the putty around the edges. It's important that you curve it around the edges because you need this deep enough to fit the clay into. Like you saw with my Tim Holtz mold, it was not deep enough, so I can't use it. See if I can zoom in a little. Well, I zoomed in, but not to the right place. All right. And I just kind of press it down firmly. I make sure that's kind of around the edges. Okay. And that is the mold. So now you have to let it sit between 15 and 30 minutes. So I'm gonna let that one sit, and that is how you make a mold. As soon as it's dry, and you'll be able to tell it feels rubbery when it's dry and it's not sticky anymore at all. But when it's dry, it's ready to use. So I'm gonna set this aside and use one that I have that's already dry. I'm trying to lift it up without messing it up. Okay, so I'll put that one to the side. And let's see, I'll just use one of the corner pieces for this video, and I've got some gunk on my mat. Okay, and here is just some white Sculpey clay. It's already soft. That's why I love Sculpey, because it stays soft. And I'm just gonna get a little bit. And when I have a corner piece, I kind of roll it into a little barrel almost. And then, well, cylinder, I don't know what you'd call that. And then I press it in like that. And when you're making your actual piece, you just want to kind of press it in there, make sure it's in all the little nooks and crannies. And with the Sculpey, because it's so soft, what I'll do is I'll press it in the mold and just leave it there for a minute or so to let it harden up just a little and form to that mold before I take it out. Okay, so I'll just let it sit there for a minute, and I'll just show you another one. Actually, that's too much. Okay, so here's another one, and this one is just another corner piece, and this is from Prima. It's one of their resin pieces. And I love the corners, love them. So I've been making a lot of them, actually. I figure I'll include some in my giveaway, some of the corner pieces and a frame. Okay, so what I do is just kind of press it down once it's in there, and I try to make it as flat as possible, because this is the piece that you're gonna be gluing onto your project or your paper. And I'm just using white. It doesn't matter what color you have, because you can paint it to any color you want. Even if it's white and I want it white, I still paint it with acrylic paint. It just gives it a more finished look. Okay, so I'll let that one sit. And now this one's ready to come out. So what you do to get the mold out is you kind of bend back your edges, and it's going to release it. So I'm going to show you how I would do that like this, but I actually do this as I'm pressing it down. So I'm using my finger to press down in the middle while lifting back the edges, and that is how it turned out. So it's really flimsy right now because we have to bake it, but that's how it turns out, and it looks very similar to the Prima one. Similar enough that I'm happy with it, and I don't have to spend another $5 to get another package of them. Same thing with this one. I'm going to press down with my finger as I'm pulling back the edges. So you're going to do both things at once. So I kind of hold it with this hand right here, press down and pull back on the edges. You're going to multitask here, and then it will kind of fall out. And then there you have it. And what's great about this is if you're not happy with the way something turns out, you can just roll it back up in a little ball and start over. This was the frame piece that I made, and I've been making a lot of these. I love these. And this is from the same Prima collection that has these corner pieces. And I bought one set for $4 or $5, and with a $2 package of clay, actually it was $1.25 because they were 4 for $5. With a $1.25 package of clay, I was able to make 2 more sets. So I was very excited about that. But yes, I hope that this tutorial was helpful. I know that there's a lot of videos out there, but I did have someone ask me how I made mine, so I just wanted to show you the products I used and how I make them. And when you're done, you just bake them. I think the Sculpey brand that I buy is $2.75 in the oven for about 30 minutes. And then after they're baked, you can paint them any color you want. I add rub and buff to mine on the very edges. which gives it a, you know, just a finished classic look. So there you have it. I hope that this was helpful, and thanks so much for watching. Bye.